Hey, welcome to Peep Show Talk, episode 19. And today we've got an interesting guest, someone who I've known for quite a while. And we're going to be talking about different reproduction World War II items. In case you see something on my forehead, it is Ash Wednesday, and I'm not embarrassed to wear my ashes. So, one thing, if you are interested in supporting the channel, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. And I produce one of these videos, probably maybe two a week, one a week, depending upon what my schedule is. Another way you can support the channel would be I have my 4 different books that I've written. So I have my book on CB radio history, my Civil War book, my chaplain book, and my war pigeon book. And those are available on lulu.com. You can get them via Amazon. However, Jeff Bezos doesn't need another rocket, and I have expensive hobbies. So, without further delay, today we have Tim Dunavin of Dunavin Woodsmiths. It looks like we have a little bit of a delay going here, but
Yeah, sounds like it.
But Tim is known around the world because he produces kind of rare World War II items. So why don't you tell people what Dunavin Woodsmiths is?
Dunavin Woodsmith started back around 2007. I go to Oshkosh every year, and I'm part of the group up there that does reenacting. And the guys were familiar with the fact that I was doing woodworking, and they asked me if I could build field tables. So I started building field tables, and eventually somebody I think it was Mike DeCroy, you know him, I think, had a pigeon box. And so I dutifully drew pictures and took pictures and took measurements and started building pigeon boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I became aware of the fact that the Quartermaster Museum at Fort Lee, Virginia, had some prints of some of the field desks and other things that I would be interested in building. And so I built up a relationship with Luther Henson, the curator at the time. I think he's retired now. And he sent me prints for record chest, field desks, headquarters field desk, hymnal chest, and helped me with some of these things.
So it looks like you built up quite an inventory of different things that you make.
Yes, I have. Unfortunately, I can't keep any in inventory. So I'm building by the order. So sometimes it takes me a little while. I'm 80 years old, so I'm not exactly the fastest turtle in the box.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think your quality of work speaks for itself. And I've actually ordered quite a few things from Tim, mostly replacement parts and things. So Tim sells complete items, but also if in my case, I have this knack of finding empty field desks boxes, and so I usually contact Tim, and he sends me the guts. And then can you see your webpage there?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
So this is Tim's webpage. And do you want to kind of talk through it a little bit? I can just kind of scroll down and we'll just kind of go through the different icons on there. Some of the stuff that you make. So who's this guy?
That is a reproduction picture of General Vandergrift, Marine Corps General Vandergrift on Guadalcanal.
Mm-hmm.
I duplicated that. I kind of reenacted that.
Yeah, I think
and so I like that picture, so I put that on my website.
Mm-hmm. So then here's some of your field desks.
Field tables. Those are field tables.
Field tables, sorry.
I make several different versions. I make a solid wood top with tapered legs. That's called a camp table. I make my standard field table is a plywood top with straight legs. And then I also make baker's tables. When Mr. Hansen sent me prints for field tables, there was a one in there for a baker's table, which it had 33-inch legs so that the cook could stand and do his thing at the table. But the table was 75 inches long and some of them made of metal. You'd need a deuce and a half to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
So with working with him, I made a 24 by 48 inch table, or actually it's a 3 foot 36-inch by 48 table that with 33-inch legs. Well, after my first production and use of them up at Oshkosh, we found that we needed something to sit and eat at. So now I also make 27-inch version of the baker's table so that you can pull up a chair and sit down and eat.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And then looks like you have what, the Canadian and German tables also?
The German table is actually the camp table painted in German colors.
Okay.
RAL 6006.
Mm-hmm.
And the Canadian table is actually a reproduction of some tables that the Canadian contingent up at Oshkosh had, because they wanted me to duplicate some for them.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All in all, I've made well over 125 tables, 130 different
Wow.
flavors.
Wow. And then you've got the
shipped them all over.
The bulletin board.
The bulletin board. I don't sell too many. I don't sell too many of those because they're very expensive to ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty big.
Those are items that are used pretty much locally, or where I can meet somebody to make delivery.
Okay, cool. Well, let's just kind of run through some more stuff. You've got your chaplain stuff, chaplain gear.
I became acquainted with one of the chaplains. He's actually an Anglican priest over in the Riviera in France, and he asked me if I could make a wafer box. So that was the wafer box that I made. And then somebody was asking me about a hymnal chest, and so I got a hold of my friend Mr. Hansen, and voila, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have one of these, and it's great. And those are very, very hard to come by. I've only ever seen one original, and there's a few out there floating around, but this really helps fill a role there. And it has a false bottom in it, so then you can
with the low number of hymnals that are available. I also tell my customer that I can put in a false bottom, and then ask him how many books he's got and where he wants that false bottom to be, so that he can store other things in it too.
Yeah, with mine, I photocopied the actual.
And I had one customer, and
with mine, I photocopied the books and then glued it on the top. So if somebody pulls out, the stack, it looks like there's more underneath it.
Oh yeah. I had a customer in Utah that asked for the false bottom, but with no cleats to put it in with. And he posted a photograph on Facebook with it filled with hymnals.
Wow.
I don't know where he got them all, but
yeah,
it was full.
They're not expensive. They're maybe, you can get them for maybe $5 to $10, but I think that holds how many, like 100, 120, something like that. And I can't imagine how heavy that is. 80, something like that.
180 or 190 of those hymnals can be put in there.
Yeah.
There's 8 in a layer, and they're only ½ inch thick.
Right. That's a lot. So then you've got your lantern boxes. That's what we're looking at now.
lantern box, yes, I make those.
So it
I
holds.
don't have a big call for it, but if somebody wants one, I can make one.
Mm-hmm. And I think your field desks. Okay, now we're on your field desks. We already saw your field tables, so now let's your field desks. And then you want to talk us through
This first one at the top.
Mm-hmm.
The top one there is the company records chest. The second one is the regular company field desk.
Mm-hmm.
That one there. And in fact, I've got some examples right in front of me here where I'm under construction, and that's a headquarters field desk.
Mm-hmm.
Those were basically issued to chaplains as well as being headquarters desks.
Well, as you know, I have a bit of a field desk addiction. I have one World War II company records chest, and I have a new old stock Vietnam one. I have 3 of these company field desks, and then I've got 2 of the headquarters field desks. One of them you supplied the guts for, and that's the one I put with my chaplain stuff, and then I have another one. So I definitely have a bit of an addiction. Are these pretty popular items for you? For your sales?
I got 4. I got 4 that I'm working on right now, and the serial number that I put on it is the last one was 44.
Okay. So yeah, you
So I
made
built
quite a few of them, huh? Okay, let's look at your Footlockers and
right.
medical stuff. So you
The
got
Footlockers, I can custom mark them if you like. Most of them they got the wooden handles on the side, so that they don't, they're like the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do have the print for those that were riveted together, and I have done some of that too.
Mm-hmm.
That is the bottom picture. There is the anesthesia box. Is used basically in battalion hospitals by an anesthesiologist. However, they make excellent first aid kits. Just throw it in the Jeep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are nice, and it's 15 by 15 by 8. So looks good.
Right.
And then here's your German stuff. So there's your field table, and then there's a German field desk that you also make.
Right.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I've made 4 of those too. They're not as popular as the American ones, but I have made them. And then the Panzerschreck box down below there,
Mm-hmm.
and the Panzerschreck itself. The Panzerschreck is one piece. I put it on a lathe and turn it.
Wow. How long does it take you to make one of those?
Just the rocket itself,
Yeah.
not very long. I can probably put out 2 of them a day
Okay.
if I put my mind to it.
And then you also you also sell the
And
shimmel.
the shimmels, right? That is one of the sturdiest, comfortable seats that I've ever been able to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're as hard as rock, and they probably are, but they're built just right. I mean, they're just right for leg comfort. And
Mm-hmm. Just the right height.
in fact, up at Rockford, I had a couple of them, and I offered a seat to a young fella, and next thing I know, I got it sold.
Yeah.
We sat down and chewed the fat, and the next thing I got it sold.
Okay, so here's your pigeon boxes, and I would think that your pigeon boxes are becoming more popular because of the price of the original boxes. As you know, I'm pretty aware of these because I wrote a book about all that equipment, and the prices of these have become ridiculous and far exceed what you sell them for.
They're not too hard to build. I have to hand make the latches because the latches are not available.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the hardest part of the project.
Mm-hmm. So you've got the 2 bird and the 4 bird.
right? And I make the feeders that go with them.
Yeah, and I have some of the feeders. I've gotten some of those from you, and then there's the PG50, and then there's the larger. There's a larger one, the PG49, I think it is. Again, just because I wrote a book on this stuff doesn't mean that I remember every exact detail of it. Sometimes I have to go back and look at the stuff myself. But this is the smaller version, and then there's a larger one. But most people, I don't know why you would want the larger one, because it's big and it's heavy.
There's a couple stories behind that. I had, when I found that this thing existed, I got some pictures of it, and I started reproducing just from pictures. And I wrote to, or I got a hold of the Signal Corps Museum at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and asked for assistance. And the sergeant down there says, "Tim, I can't help you. I don't have anything on it." And several years later, I got a request for one of these from a fella in South Carolina. Well, I added a note to it saying that I don't know how accurate it was, because I couldn't get any information from the Signal Corps Museum at Fort Gordon, Georgia. He wrote me back and says, "I am the museum."
That's great.
So
you
funny, but he said I did a real good job.
Yeah, you did a really good job. I actually have an original PG50, and they're 30 by 18 by 12. And then the larger one is the 20 bird. And that one is 44, so it's almost 4 feet long by 24 by 12. So it's basically the same thing, except it's a lot bigger and heavier. So, sorry, I had to go back to my own book to see this.
That's okay.
And then you've got the feed trays for the PG51, and then I don't see the PG51 on here though.
It isn't on the. It isn't in that picture.
No.
On that page. Not on that page.
No, it's actually not on there. The feed trays are on there.
Well, the PG51 is a little more modern version than the 4-bird box at the top. It's a 4-bird box with plexiglass covers for the birds to cover the ends. And they tried using those in the Pacific. However, the moisture in the Pacific was causing lung problems in the pigeons, so they created a screen version.
Here's the PG51.
Right.
Actually, I think it's backwards. That you had that backwards, and that the PG51 is the earlier model, and then the ones that you have on your web page up here, the PG 102 and 104. Those are the later versions.
Later versions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the issue with the PG51 is that the number one, they were overly complicated to make, and the glass was just pointless. Actually, I believe they were made out of like a resin material, not so much actual glass, as someone has corrected me. But it's just a much simpler design.
Yeah, the 104 is, yeah.
And then you've got like the whole, and you got a picture of the entire set up here, which is pretty cool. I actually have the display pigeons, and my late great cat absolutely went crazy over seeing the pigeon inside of this. So, and then looks like then you've got we talk about your Enigma machine box, which you made one of those for me.
I do have some. I've had some inquiries, but I haven't built very many of those.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the machine that I have, and I think you went ahead and got one, is the Mine Enigma, made by a guy from Canada, and I'm not sure that
it's the same one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's actually selling those anymore. And mine I pull out every once in a while, but yeah, here's his here's the website for mine Enigma. So it's basically an Enigma machine replica. Um, and you have to put it together. And so you have to looks like there's a chip shortage, so looks like he can't make any of them right now. But this is what it looks like. So you build the box to make it look more authentic.
Yeah,
And
thanks to you, I had to re-engineer the hinges. Those were really something to work out
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
sliding
yeah. The whole thing is
gizmos.
is just different. So you also sell different straps. Looks like leg straps for the camp
For
table, and
tables.
then officers sleeping bag straps, and then the PG-51 strap, and then you have parts and pieces, which I'm constantly seeming to need one piece or the other. So if you find an empty case, and that's what I commonly do is I'll search around, I'll just put in military or army, and then every so often something will come up. A lot of times people tore these out to use them for storage or things like that, tore out the guts of these boxes. So you actually have the option of making the entire interior for them, which is great because then you can just slide it in there and the whole thing looks brand new.
Right.
Also the leather
And they're
repair
all made to
kits.
the print.
Hmm?
They're all made to the print.
Yeah, mine have all fit perfectly, absolutely perfectly. If it's just like a repair drawer, and you've got the leather repair kits, which I've used some of those. A lot of times those are all broken, and then looks like you've got some additional drawers and things like that. So, do you want to show us your shop?
One item. What's that?
No, go ahead.
One item you got one item there on the uh, field desk page that you missed that I'd like to highlight.
On the field desk page, okay. Which one is? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Down at the bottom,
Yeah.
down at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Those are inkwell, World War II inkwells. When I first got started, I couldn't find anything that even remotely resembled uh, those inkwells. So I was using testers paint bottles and stuffing them with red and black felt. And here recently, I became acquainted with 3D printing.
Mm-hmm. So now you make an accurate reproduction inkwell, which is fantastic. So, and the thing I love about the stuff that you do is your quality is really great, and then also, a lot of people they want to set something up either for living history or maybe they want to set something up next to their vehicle.
And so
And
these are 3D.
mhm.
Yeah. You ready for a tour of the shop?
Yeah. Let me stop screen sharing. And let me change it so, okay, so I've changed it so now you're the main person on the screen.
Okay, I see it. You want me to reverse my picture here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or do you do that?
No, you do that.
How do I do that now? Oh, no, I did that wrong. Hmm.
Are you on an iPhone?
Yeah.
You may just have to turn it around. All right, there's your shop.
This is what you see directly in front of you is one of the field desks I'm working on. And you were talking about shortages a while ago, and I've run into some serious shortages.
Mm-hmm.
I like to build a lot of my equipment from using Baltic birch plywood because it's good quality. But it took me from mid-November to the first part of February to get the plywood for these boxes, I was able to get wood for the drawers that I have here. There's a couple of drawers that I've got right here.
Mm-hmm. And this is a new shop that you purpose built for this, isn't it?
Right. I've got a panel cutter. At my age, I can't take huge pieces of plywood and lay them over here on my table saw and do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's well equipped. I got a brake and a shear. My router table and an air filtration system and my planer and joiner. I got a joiner around the corner there. And my saw, and there's a little bit of a paint booth I built here from out of boxes my stepson brought to me. There's World War II engineering crates.
Oh, okay. I can kind of make it out now. So basically you just put your stuff in there and paint it, and that way you don't get fumes everywhere.
Yeah.
That's handy. Cool.
And I've restored one, and I was using it for a Footlocker. And some guys up in Rockford saw it and I bought it. And I got a special device here. It's an XY table that I make stays with for the field desks.
Okay.
This lays in there like that. I put a mill in here and run it back and forth. Put that groove right down the center.
Okay, so yeah, that's what holds the door in from it falling beyond 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I've got a small lathe that I use. This is set up for turning those little buttons.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah.
To keep the typewriter from getting to stay.
Uh-huh.
So I make a lot of my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I make the corners,
Mm-hmm.
front corners, the back corners I purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And the rivets don't go all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Glued in.
Yeah, I think you even include like a version of the tag. Is that right?
Yes. In fact, I got 4 of them here for those 4 field desks that I'm working on right now. Can you see the
Yeah, actually, just take it in a little bit closer so we can see it.
How's that?
Yeah, you can kind of make it out. So you see the stock number and everything. So those are great.
Mr. Hanson even gave me my own contract number.
Oh, wow. That's funny. So then there's no question whether or not yours are reproduction or not.
The contract number reflects the area of the Chicago area too, as well. They had a way of knowing where it came from. Look, just with the contract number.
Mm-hmm. So it's accurate down to that level. That's funny.
Yep.
So is there anything?
And then I put Dunavin Woodsmith on there too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that way people know it actually came from you. It's not an original, but it still looks correct.
But I also stencil these too. I don't know if you can see this or
not. Just move it over a little. There you go. Yeah, you can make it out.
And I put a stock number on it, or serial number rather.
Oh, okay, for each of the items that you've made yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great. Well, thanks for the shop tour. Let's
yeah.
I know that you've You've recently, a couple of years ago, got into a Jeep. I'll go and screen share so people see your Jeep. Tell us
Yep,
about your
I got her
Jeep.
sitting right out here. Sitting right out here. I had some pretty serious arthritis in my knees. And when I go to events, they would ask the vendors to park maybe a half mile or more away from the event. So I needed some transportation to get back and forth. So I got this Jeep.
And what year is
I
it?
had her out today. It's a 43 Ford.
Okay.
She'd been covered with a canvas tarp, and that was built specifically for the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the tarp off and put the key in the ignition, and after a couple cranks, she took right off.
Good deal.
She's been covered up since last fall.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like. You're in northern Illinois. You're where Rock Falls, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of northern-ish Illinois, not Chicago-ish, but northern Illinois. And I know here in Missouri today,
Northwestern.
yeah, northwestern.
Northwestern.
Yeah, today it's like 80 degrees here in Missouri on Ash Wednesday, the 2nd of March. So I've got my
It's
windows
60s
open.
here.
It's
We're in
what?
the low 60s. Low
Oh,
60s.
so did you take the bride out for
Yeah,
lunch in your Jeep?
you're 5 hours south of us.
Yeah. Did you take your bride out in the Jeep for lunch today, or?
No, she's had some hip problems, and
Oh,
when you get to be in our age, I think she's headed for a hip replacement myself. But
ouch. That's no fun. So,
that's
so
not
what's the future for Dunavin Woodsmith? So, are there things that you're contemplating for the future? Different new items?
Well, I got this item out here.
Oh, you bought a trailer.
Yeah.
That's going to keep you busy.
And I think it's gonna take a lot of croil. It needs a lot of loving.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
Yeah. So, are there any
I
new
got a Jeep, and I thought I could take it.
Are there any new wood products?
Any new wood product?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think my stable's pretty full right now. I do put a lot of stuff out.
Mm-hmm. So let's say someone sees this interview tonight and says, I really want a field desk. How long do you think it would take you to get one made for them, since you do them pretty much by order?
I'm building 4 right now, and 3 of them are spoken for. If I got an order tonight, I could probably say, I could ship it reasonably soon.
Okay.
But beyond that, plywood is getting tough to get. So I have no clue how long it would take me, actually. In fact, if you noticed, when I showed you the drawers and showed you the interior of the field desk, they were different colors. And I think they don't match totally, but they're not too far apart. It's because I couldn't get the right stain. I couldn't get my stain from the people I was getting it from. I had to go to somebody else.
So is your Jeep right there?
They don't make it the same way.
Is your Jeep right there?
Yeah, right behind me.
Okay. You gonna do a walk around real quick? Everybody wants to see
Right
the
behind
Jeep.
me.
I've not seen your Jeep in person. I've seen a few photographs of it, but
yeah, they got a cover. There's also a cover underneath the seat. I don't. You probably too dark in here if you just see that.
I can see it. Your canvas top.
Can't stop. Whoops, this ain't going to go up. I need both hands on these springs.
It's fine.
So
Yeah, looks good. Looks real good.
it needs a little mothering here and there, but other than that, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. I think they all do. So right now I'm showing your webpage. So
Yeah.
if people want to get in touch with you, I would recommend that they just type into their web browser Dunavin Woodsmiths, Dunavin Woodsmith, and you'll come up with his webpage. And then he's got his email address and his phone number, so you can reach out to him there. And
And also, I take PayPal too.
awesome,
I take
great,
I take PayPal too,
awesome,
or checks or money order, either way.
fantastic. Why don't you get outside where we can see you one last time, and then we'll sign off here today, Tim. All right. Hey,
My
Tim.
little
I know
my little
you.
house in the woods.
Uh-huh. Well, I know you provide a real nice service for a lot of people, and people appreciate what you do, and it's a little bit of a niche that no one else is filling. So I'm sure people are glad to see the guy behind the company and see some of your products and your new shop and things. So I really appreciate you spending some time today with us, Tim.
I got a sidekick in England, but I haven't heard much more from him. And apparently, folks in England don't hear much from him either. So because
Oh,
I've had some
really?
requests for assistance from here.
Yeah, I'm sure shipping overseas is ridiculous too.
Well, I can't ship overseas anymore.
Really,
It just.
like you physically
I
can't,
had one customer
or it's cost prohibitive.
cost prohibitive. I had one customer costing $400 for a $60 order.
Wow.
Time he got it through customs.
Yeah, I would think by then you could go find an original.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, for
Well, it's
probably.
been great talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it. Let me go and wrap things up here. Hey, thanks, Tim, for coming on here and talking field desk and wood products. I'm sure it's something that a lot of people maybe have heard of and didn't know who did it or weren't aware of his products. So I appreciate it. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode of the Peep Show, like, share, and comment. If you don't like it, why are you still watching? Why are you still here? You could be doing something else. You know, I have a lot of cat videos. My cat videos do very, very well. I have a new kitten, and you know he's gotten something around 17,000 views, and I
Take
think
care, man.
my military vehicle videos have gotten like 1,000 views. So clearly, people love cats more than they love military vehicles. That's kind of what I'm figuring out. And you know what's really weird is my audience went from like 87% male to 13% female to something like right now it's at like 51-49 female. So anyway, hey, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you, Tim. And you know, you guys, I will catch you on the next one.